So chapter 6 goes on to say that men multiplied and women or daughters were born to them, and that the sons of God found them attractive. And and so it talks about them mating and having children. And many people want to say that the sons of God is referring to the descendants of Seth, and that the daughters of men is referring to the daughters of Cain. But the problem is that the sons of God in the Old Testament is almost always referring to angels. You can find it especially in the book of Job. And so, I just think they're trying to sound more sane, I guess we could say. But, the Bible says that God's way, as the heavens are high above the earth, so are God's ways high above our ways. And so I really do believe that this is talking about angels mating with women. You might say, that's weird. Why is that happening? And I think it's really because of the prophecy in Genesis 3, where Satan is told that there will be enmity between his seed and the seed of a woman, and he will bruise the seed of a woman's heel, but he will crush his head. In other words, it's talking about the Messiah, that the Messiah will be born through the human race and will crush Satan's head. So wouldn't it make sense if the other fallen angels would try to mate with women to ruin that plan? And I really think that's what's happening here. And you can find references to this in Jude. I believe it's verse 6 that talks about that these angels that tried to do this are actually already locked up in some kind of spiritual prison that God made for them because of what they're trying to do. So I know it sounds weird, but it makes sense that the angels would try to do this to thwart the plan of the Messiah. And then some people say that because Jesus said that angels don't marry, that this can't be angels, but they're not marrying, they're just mating, and this is very different. If you believe that angels came down and took on human form in other areas of the Bible, why couldn't they come in human form, fallen angels, and have a functioning reproductive system to try to thwart the plan of the Messiah? And also, this is probably part of the reason why the flood was sent, was not just to take care of evil in the world, but also this hybrid race of beings that were a combination of angels and humans. And then the Bible talks about the Nephilim, and it really means the fallen ones. And many commentaries I've read says that this isn't actually the hybrid of angels and women, but this is just saying that the men in these days, or people in these days, were just violent, and they were falling on each other as far as to take them over. So even it really doesn't matter whether it refers to the descendants of this union between the sons of God and the daughters of men, or whether this is a separate group that just says this is how people function. Is the violence survived, right? They were violent in those days. And so I know it's weird, but I believe that this portion is talking about a union that God didn't want to exist, and he locked the angels up for it because they're trying to thwart the plan of the Messiah.